How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about one of my high conviction plays, ChargePoint. I know it's been a while, but I want to make sure I give you guys an update. So before we get started, of course, we got to go over the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you are a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing that we're going to be going over is the recent update that came out, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. And then secondly, we're going to be doing a technical analysis, taking a look at the overall price action. I know many of my short-term traders out there are very frustrated with this stock. I've been getting some messages about it, but do keep in mind this is a volatile play, and you did have those opportunities to take profits because it has been trading in a consistent tight range. But of course, we'll go over all of that. And then secondly, no, not even secondly, then thirdly, we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information. We want to know, have institutions been loading up on shares? And as far as shorts are concerned, how heavily vested are they inside of this play? And then afterwards, we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know, were institutions loading up on large scale orders for ChargePoint? And then when all of that is done, I'll be going over the final thoughts and as well as some key details. So let's get to it. So let's go over the recent update that came out for ChargePoint that I want to share with you guys. So ChargePoint acquires electrification solution provider VeraCity for 75 million euros. So ChargePoint has acquired VeraCity, a provider of electrification solutions for e-bus and commercial fleets, for 75 million in cash. The VeraCity team, customer accounts, and technology will become part of ChargePoint's operations. VeraCity has more than 50 employees in the Netherlands and the US. VeraCity will help integrate information sources to optimize electric fleet operations, including battery management, charging station monitoring, OEM agnostic telematics, vehicle maintenance, and vehicle operations data. ChargePoint held 609.8 million in cash and equivalents as of April 30th, 2021. So this is definitely some great news here. Seeing ChargePoint is continuing to expand their reach. And these are part of the reasons and part of the things we want to look for, especially we believe in companies for the long term. They want to take advantage of the electrification of the world overall in general. And as far as market share is concerned, we already know ChargePoint is one of the leaders in that particular space when it comes to EV charging, and the fact that they're going to be getting into the commercial space as well. Hey, what more can you really ask for as an investor? So now let's get into the technicals. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for ChargePoint. So let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $25.18, being up 0.48%. On the low, it tested $23.89, and then on the high, testing $25.22. Taking a look at the volume stats on the day, we traded at 3.723 million shares, and as far as for the average volume over 10 trading days, it's at 5.508 million shares. Now, when we take a look now at our chart, we're using the 1 year daily. We can see at the RSI down below, it's right around 50. And as far as for the 200 day, we are below it. We're also below the 100 day. But as you can see clearly right here, we're riding right on that 21 day EMA being at 25.18 and the EMA being at 25.05. So we are sitting on an area of support for ChargePoint. This $25 area has been a consistent area, but of course, if you wanted to take advantage of opportunities in regards to pullbacks, it's been at 24, and also we have seen in the past being at around this $22 level as well. So when I was actually telling you guys to add to your positions in regards to ChargePoint, getting at $20 or below can definitely fare well for you. So as far as we do know, they ended up having an offering not too long ago, and now we have to take into consideration of the fact we are still seeing improving levels of support. So with all of this in mind, I'm looking forward to seeing ChargePoint get back into the $26 level. And we can see clearly right here, right at this $26.50, this is an area of resistance. Every time ChargePoint comes to try to test it, we have some selling pressure. We end up having some pullbacks. So I want to see continuous consolidation and support in this 25 area, or even around the 24.50 level. It really doesn't bother me. Like I said, I believe in the long-term prospect. prospects, but I'm looking forward to seeing a strong move, especially when we get more progress in regards to the infrastructure. So as far as that is concerned, I want to see this move, and the move I'm looking forward to is right here around $27.50. If we can get to $27.50 and gain some momentum, of course we can make that possible test to 30. But this is not going to happen until we get past this wall here, right here at the mid $26 range. So keep that in mind. And as far as anyone who's playing off of the fluctuations, just make sure you have a game plan. So we're going to be taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information for ChargePoint. So as we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So we can see here as far as for August the 12th, the most recent filing we have from Bank, Pictic, and CISA that went in with 6,555 shares. But as we go further back, yes, we do have some institutions who have closed out their positions. But as far as open positions are concerned, we are seeing a considerable amount. And even if we go far back, taking a look even at the 11th, we could see again the 10th and so forth. So what this tells us, institutions have been loading up on shares, which is good to see because, they're looking for a return on their investment. Now, when we take a look at the short interest information here, we can see from the short shares availability, it is at 800,000, updated 19 minutes ago. And as far as for the short ball free rate, it's at 0.91%. Now, when we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio for August the 10th, it's at 52.07. And as far as for the 11th, it is at 64.09. So very high short interest in ChargePoint. So what this means, you're going to see a lot of manipulative price action, and this is of no strange coincidence whatsoever due to the fact of the range that it has been trading in for quite some time. But one thing to do keep in mind, if we end up having a good catalyst or we have a lot of volume coming through the stock, we can look forward to seeing some strong moves to the upside. But for the meantime, as far as how ChargePoint is actually looking and for its price action, again, do not be phased by it, especially if you believe in the long-term prospects. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for ChargePoint. So we can see on the inflow it's at 14,251, and then on the outflow it's at 15,113. We had 0 on the large for both. As far as on the medium, it was at 6,838, and on the small it was at 7,412. On the outflow side, of course, we had 0 on the large. Medium, we had 9,395, and then on the small, we had 5,719. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see zeros down the board. So one of the things I'm looking at right away very quickly by taking a look at these numbers, we already know there is a lot of attention around the infrastructure bill. And of course, ChargePoint is one of the companies that actually benefit from this. So I feel if institutions were getting involved, they were doing it on the small and as well as on the medium side. Why would you want to go in with large scale orders, especially around a time where there's a lot of speculation around a particular catalyst? So I feel institutions were definitely making sure they're having risk management in place and didn't want to expose themselves too much. As far as what was going on the retail side, of course, we're going to have a lot of buying, and we're also going to have a lot of profit taking coming from traders because ChargePoint has been very volatile. And like I said before, it's trading in a very tight range. So now let's jump into the final thoughts. So for my final thoughts for ChargePoint, I'm going to continue to have this as my high conviction long-term play. When we went on Fintel, we could see a ton of short squeeze potential. But this is not the only thing we need to look at because it also does tell us overall market sentiment. Shorts are heavily vested inside of this play with the short volume ratio being above 60%. So they're pretty much saying, hey, the price is way too high at its current levels. And that's one thing you want to be aware of, especially if you are a shareholder. As far as institutions, they have been loading up on shares. And of course, they are looking for a return on their investment, and they're also more willing to wait. As far as retail investors are concerned, and as well as traders, they're not going to be as patient. Let's be honest here. They're willing to hold for years, and I have the same sentiment when it comes to ChargePoint. Yes, there wasn't too long ago that I did buy some calls on ChargePoint. They did end up being green, but I didn't get the profit that I was looking for because, again, it has been trading in quite the range. And of course, with all of the hype going on in regards to the infrastructure bill, and as far as waiting for more updates, the volatility is going to continue. But again, if you believe in the long-term prospects, you're doing your homework, you're doing your due diligence, this will not bother you. But if you're going in short term, you want to make sure you have a strategy in place as far as knowing your entry and as well as your exit and what you're buying in regards to stocks and as well as options. I feel this is very important to know. As far as what's going on the business side and as far as operations, I love the direction that ChargePoint is actually going in. By getting into bus and fleets and so forth and expanding their presence can bode very well for them in the future. We do know they have a strong cash position and they are putting it to use. And these are one of the things that I actually look for when I'm investing in a company for the long term. If they have cash on hand, how well are they putting it to work? What kind of acquisitions and investments are they making? And we can see ChargePoint is doing everything that it needs to do to take advantage of electrification or the EV sector as a whole 5 to 10 to 15 years from now. These are the things why I have so much conviction inside of this play. You guys can already tell from my expression. So as far as the volatility is concerned, hey, it can pull back to the $20 range and you know I'm going to be loading up on shares. And if it does decide to run up quite a bit, hey, that would be great. I'll be looking at the technical setup and I can look for, hey, a short-term play in regards, maybe doing a swing or maybe looking into some options that I did not too long ago. And we crushed it inside of the private group as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and we'll be talking real soon.